देव बरे करू सर. A life devoted to excellence, service and community becomes an inspiration for generations to come. With this thought, it is my privilege to introduce the president of today's function, Mr. Kevin Rebello. A man of many accomplishments, Mr. Rebello, a distinguished hospitality professional, heritage conservationist, social worker, and an accomplished master of ceremonies. His journey reflects a remarkable blend of professional excellence, leadership, and dedicated community service. A graduate in hotel management and catering technology, Mr. Rebello further enhanced his expertise through specialized international training in integrated pest management and food hygiene. With over 2 decades of experience in hospitality industry, including 11 years with the renowned UK-based Carnival Company, he has earned admiration for his professionalism, commitment, and pursuit of excellence. Beyond his professional achievements, Mr. Rebello's passion for heritage conservation and his unwavering service to society have made him a respected and inspiring figure in our community. It is indeed a matter of great honor and privilege to have such multifaceted personality presiding over today's program. Everyone, please join me in giving a big round of applause as we warmly welcome the president of today's function, Mr. Kevin Rebello. Sir, I now humbly request you to address the gathering.
देव बरी सांज दिवं तुमकां सगळ्यांक हांगा हाजीर आशिल्ल्यान. A nation that remembers its heroes keeps its history alive. On behalf of the author, Mr. Prajal Sakadende, I take this opportunity to welcome all of you to the release of his new book, Unsung Heroes of History. I am Kevin Rebello and I feel honored to be here today. Thank you all for taking the time to join us. Your presence has made this occasion very special. Today is a proud day as the author, whom I proudly call my brother, presents his 6th book on the history of Goa. May God bless this book with great success and may it inspire every people to know and remember the sacrifices of our freedom fighters. Dev bare kuru.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. फुला भितर परमळ आणि सोबाय असता, पण दितल्याच्या मनात मोग आणि रिस्पेदाची भावना असता. ह्याच भावनेन आम्ही हाजीर आशिल्ल्या आमच्या मानेस्तांचो फुलांनी येवकार करूया. मागता मिस्टर निशांत काळे हांच्यांनी मुखेल सोयरे डॉक्टर एम डायस हांचो भोवमान करचो. मिस श्रिया पटेणकर हांच्यांनी मानाचे सोयरे मिस सेंड्रा परेरा हांकां. मिस कॅरन फर्नांडीस to Advocate Jatin Naik, Ms. Joella Antau, to President of the function, Mr. Kevin Rebello, Mr. John Ferrao, to our author, Mr. Prajal Sakadende, ल्हान वयातच बाळाराया मापारी हांणी उपाट धैर्य आनी शौर्य दाखयले. तशेंच हुतात्मा कर्नल सिंग बेनीपाल हांची शूरवीरता गोंयचे भुंयेक लाभली. स्वतंत्रतायेचो बावटो उंच उरपा खातीर तांच्यांनी आपले जिवीत ह्या भुंयेक अर्पिल्ले. अशा ह्या शूरवीरांचो भोवमान आमी फुलांचो हार घालून करूया. मागता बाळाराया मापारी हांची धूव मिसेस लक्ष्मी अगरवाडेकर की तांणी हुतात्मो बाळाराया मापारी हांकां फुलाचो हार घालचो.
मुखार येता बाळाराया मापारी, जो गोंयचो पयलो हुतात्मो. ताजी धूव, एकलीच धूव, जी 1.5 वर्साची आशिल्ली जेन्ना तो मेलो तेन्ना, लक्ष्मी अगरवाडेकर, ती आपल्या बापायक आतां फुलांनी हार घालता.
मागता आयचे मुखेल सोयरे रेमी डायस हांच्यांनी हुतात्मा कर्नल सिंग बेनीपाल हांकां फुलांचो हार घालचो.
आमच्या मजगती गुरप्रीत सिंग बजवा आसात, जे कर्नाल सिंगाचे रिलेटिव्ह आसात. तांकां हांव अपील करता की तांणी फुडें येवचें आनी आमच्या चीफ गेस्टा बरोबर फुलांचो हार घालचो. कर्नाल सिंग बेनीपाल, तो 21 वर्साचो हुतात्मो गोंयांत घडून आयलो. गुरप्रीत सिंग बजवा आनी तांची घरकान्न आयिल्ली आसा.
देव बरें करूं. ज्या खिणाची आमी आतुरतेन वाट पळयत आयल्या आनी जाका लागून आज आमी हांगा व्हडा संख्येन उपस्थित रावल्या, तो वेळ आयिल्लो आसा. पूण ताचे पयलीं वातावरण आनीक मातशें जोशान भरचें आनी देशप्रेमी जागोवया. त्या खातीर सगळ्यांनी म्हज्या बरोबर ह्या नाऱ्यांची घोशणा करची पडटली. तयार आसा तुमी? वंदे वंदे जय हिंद जय गोवा, जय हिंद जय गोवा. सगळ्यांक देव बरें करूं. आयच्या कार्यावळीक लाभिल्ले सगळे मानेस्त आनी कार्यावळीचे मुखेल सोयरे डॉक्टर रेमी डायस हांचे लागीं मागता की तांणी लेखक प्रजल साखरदांडे हांच्या बुकाचेर प्रकाशन करचें.
Book Unsung Heroes of History, Martyrs in Goa's Struggle for Freedom stands released at the hands of historian Dr. Remy Dias. Thank you.
गोंयचे भुंयेन आकांताचो उलो मारलो. गोंयचे भुंयेन आकांताचो उलो मारलो तेन्ना गोंयच्या पुतांनी धाव घेतलो. गोंयचे भुंयेन आकांताचो उलो मारलो तेन्ना गोंयच्या पुतांनी धाव घेतलो. ना जिवाचो भंय धरलो, ना जिवा लागच्यांचो हुस्को केलो. ना जिवाचो भंय धरलो, ना जिवा लागच्यांचो हुस्को केलो, कारण ताणें आयकलो तो फक्त गोंयचे भुंयेचो, गोंयच्या मातेचो उलो. Well, now it's time to proceed with a great moment of honor and pride as we pay tribute to the families of our freedom fighters, who themselves were no less than fighters in their own silent strength and sacrifice. We now kindly request Ms. Milan Sakardande, mother of the author, to step forward and honor Mrs. Lakshmi Agarwadekar, daughter of Balaraya Mapari. I now request Mrs. Anju Sakardande to come forward and honor Mr. Jnaneshwar Mapari, son of Martyr Rohidas Mapari.
बाळाराया मापारीक आमी सगळे वळखतात, पण ताजो चुलत भाव जाका मोंतेरोन मारलो जेलीन 28 सप्टेंबर 1956, तांचो चलो आमच्या बरोबर आसा, ताजो आमी सत्कार करतात. रोहिदास मापारीचो चलो ज्ञानेश्वर मापारी. आम्ही बाळाराया मापारीक सगळे वळखतात, पण रोहिदास मापारीक चडशे कोण वळखना, म्हणून ताच्या चल्याचो आम्ही सत्कार करतात आणि ताच्या रोहिदास मापारीच्या आत्म्याक आम्ही सलाम करतात.
I now request our guest of honor, Ms. Sandra Pereira, to step forward and honor Mr. Sukha Agarwadekar, son of Martyr Yashwant Agarwadekar.
यशवंत अगरवाडेकर जो हुतात्मो जालो तो चंद्रशेखर आझाद ऑफ गोवा. एकच गुळी उडिल्ली ताच्या रिव्हॉल्वरान, ती हाणें स्वताचेर मारून घेतली यशवंत अगरवाडेकरान. तांचो चलो सुखा अगरवाडेकर, तांचो आमी सत्कार करतात. यशवंत अगरवाडेकर फर्स्ट.
मागता मानेस्तांनी आपली बसका घेवची. In this proud and memorable moment of our program, who better than the author himself to take us through the journey behind this remarkable work? I now have the honor of inviting Mr. Prajal Sakardande sir to share his thoughts and experiences on writing this book. We eagerly look forward to his inspiring words that reflect the spirit of courage and conviction. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Veda. नमस्कार. पहिले सुवातेर तुमकां सगळ्यांक हांव नमस्कार म्हणटा, कारण तुम्ही व्हडा संख्येन म्हज्या उतराक पालो घेवन हांगा आयले. तुमकां सगळ्यांक नमस्कार. Unsung heroes of history, martyrs in Goa's struggle for freedom, 1583 to 1961. जेन्ना हांव सगळे कडेन फिरता, मिनिस्टरांचे बंगले पळयता, मिनिस्टरांच्यो गाडयो पळयता, तांचे करप्शन पळयता, ते गोंय कशें लुटतात ते पळयता, हिल कटिंग्स पळयता, शेतां भाटां रानां वनां सगळी काबार करतात, कशी काबार करतात ते मिनिस्टर्स ते पळयता. तेन्ना हांव चिंत्ता, बाळाराया मापारी, रोहिदास मापारी, यशवंत अगरवाडेकर, दुलबा पवार आनी अशे 75 मार्टर्स जांकां हांवें ह्या पुस्तकान डॉक्युमेंट केल्यात, तांकां कितें मेळ्ळें? तांकां कांयच मेळूना. सत्ता भोगता ते 40 जाण, इलेक्शन्स लढतात, सत्तेर येतात, पैसे करतात, they enjoy life. And these 75 martyrs have sacrificed their life at the altar of freedom and have gained nothing. बाळाराया मापारीची धूव आमच्या फुडें आसा, लक्ष्मी अगरवाडेकर. She was 1.5 years old when he laid his life in the military hospital opposite Kala Academy in an unconscious state on 18th February 1955. He was only 26 years of age. ताजो चुलत भाव रोहिदास मापारी, जाका आमी चडशे कोण वळखनात, ताजो चलो आमच्या फुडें आसा ज्ञानेश्वर मापारी. तो कितल्या वर्साचो आशिल्लो काय जाल्लो काय खबर ना म्हाका. तेन्ना म्हाका दिसता जी आई प्रेग्नंट आशिल्ली काय तो जाल्लो म्हाका खबर ना. सो मापारी फॅमिली ऑफ अस्नोडा sacrificed 2 youth, 26 and 27 years old, for the sake of Goa's freedom. कर्नाल सिंग बेनीपाल, जो म्हजो हिरो, ताचो रिलेटिव्ह गुरप्रीत सिंग बजवा हांगा आसा आनी ताची घरकान्न आसा. He was only 21 years of age when he braved bullets on his chest at Patradevi. आमी थंय ताचो एक बस्ट घालो and we went to the place where he sacrificed his life for the sake of Goa's freedom. When the Portuguese police started firing, he was in the rear of the procession. He came forward and he opened his shirt and challenged the Portuguese to hit him. And they shot him dead in cold blood. He was only 21 years of age. He was married in the month of May 1955 to the 17-year-old Charanjit Kaur. Now she is 86 years of age. She lives in Punjab. I am in touch with the family. ताची फॅमिली आमची गोंयान आयली, आमच्या कॉलेजीन आयली, आमच्या स्टुडंट्सा कडेन तांणी वार्तालाप केलो. आनी ताजो जो कजन आशिल्लो मोहिंदर सिंग बेनीपाल, ताणें म्हाका सांगलें की कर्नल सिंगान ताका सांगिल्लें, ये साइकिल और इसकी चाबी तुम्हारे पास रखना, मैं गोवा को आजाद करूंगा और जब वापस लौटूंगा तब मुझे देना. He never returned. He died for the sake of Goa's liberation. And there are several accounts you will read in the book. If I reveal everything, you will not read the book. And I want everyone to read the book. Not because it is my book, but because by reading their stories, you will be paying a tribute to them. Because every one of us should know their story. Because they were 25 years, 26, 27. Suresh Kerkar, Camilo Pereira. Both were friends working in the matchbox factory. They decided to burst the pipeline that was supplying water to the Portuguese garrison in Ponda. Both were shot dead on 17 February 1957, sorry. Young lives. I met their family. I met the family of Suresh Kerkar. I met the family of Bapu Gawas, who died at a young age. He was tied to the jeep and dragged such a distance And all these young martyrs, they died, and so many from the rest of the country came to liberate Goa. They did not get anything. It's very, very sad. We also have the daughter of freedom fighters, Gerald Pereira and Luisa Pereira, Lara. These two, Gerald Pereira and Luisa Pereira, they sacrificed immensely. I had the opportunity to meet Madam Luisa Pereira. I could not meet Gerald Pereira. He had passed away earlier in 1976. There are families of freedom fighters here. They stand as an inspiration to me. I salute all of them. I salute each and every martyr whose life I have been able to document so that they are brought in the public domain, and I appeal that every one of you should read their stories, remember them and salute them. Jai Goa, Jai Hind.
पुस्तक वाचता तेन्ना लेखकाचे कलम उलयता, बट जेन्ना लेखक सांगता तेन्ना लेखकाचे मन उलयता. Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts and experiences with all of us.
Just one thing I want to say is I want to thank Sainath Parab and his son Sankalp for producing that documentary on Balaraya Mapari. At such a short notice we did it, and really I salute Sainath Parab and his son Sankalp, very Sankalp, very kind of Sankalp. His first year student is assisting his father. They look like brothers, but they are father and son.
It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today's program, Advocate Jatin Naik, a respected advocate, social activist, trade union leader, and prominent thinker. Advocate Naik has dedicated himself to the cause of workers, farmers, and marginalized communities. He completed his BA from Dempi College of Arts and Science, LLB from VM Salgaonkar College of Law, and LLM from Goa University. He also spent 4 years in England pursuing postgraduate studies in law. For over 25 years, he has been practicing labor, criminal, and civil law. He previously served as the General Secretary of CITU Goa and currently serves as the General Secretary of the All India Kisan Sabha Goa and All India Lawyers Union Goa Unit. A passionate reader of history, philosophy, sociology, and science, Advocate Naik proudly describes himself as a Kosambian and a lover of history. His leadership began in his student's days when he served as a student activist and General Secretary of Dempi College Students' Union. We are honored to have such a distinguished advocate and social activist as our guest speaker. I request Advocate Jatin Naik to share his observations on this remarkable book. I request you, sir.
Thank you. Welcome you all. When Professor Prajal Sankardande invited me to be the speaker on the release of his book, I was overjoyed. मनांच्यान काळजांतल्यान म्हाका खूश भोगली कित्याक I was a student in the Dempi College of history, and from there what he has written in this book, Balaraya Mapari, Agarwadekar, he is to tell me from that period of time, and he had a passion to write on this. I think this is the first book. No, this is the first book in English. And this book has been simplified. This book everyone should read. I don't want to elaborate more about the book because you people will not read again. Because I want to promote the book. That's why I'm just trying to tell you, please read it. Very important book it is. It is such a fantastic book. I'll tell you my experience. There are total 26 chapters in this book. And I can understand his passion. Mati passion variously. Professor Prajal Sakadande sir, he is a passionate historian, not like any other person. Some people, like a narcissist, they write for themselves, so other people should praise. He is not. He wants people to read, students to read, and passionately, constantly is doing it for so many years. Not now. And in this book, if you read 26 chapter, he has detailed. I can understand why he has written the first chapter Baharaya Mapari. Because he used to tell me right from the beginning, Baharaya Mapari is the first sacrifice. And he has a great love for Baharaya. Every student he tells. In this book, he has given a detailed history. And the book is so fantastic, I read it twice because he had to give me the book earlier. I was literally crying. Tears came from my eyes. So much, I was so passionate, so sentimental I became. But I wrote why this author has written. He has written for the students. It is not for me. Means we talk in intellectual level. We always have fights. Everywhere on social media. On this book also we were having fights. That is always going on because historical materialism, materialistic interpretation of history, dialectical materialism, the antique war, right from college days when I was a student, so he has taken a lot of effort to write this book. And this book, I think, every student, every citizen of Goa should read it. Those who have a proud. We live in their honor because they were, therefore we are now. If you see, all these martyrs, 75 martyrs he has written about. Actually, this has created a pressure on Indian government to free Krishna Menon, force Nehru to liberate Goa. First, all these martyrs lived for Goa and for India. And this book is absolutely gem. Absolutely gem. Everyone, please buy it and promote this book. This author, and this is his 6th publication. And he has written 26 chapters. You can read it very easily, simple language, and you can feel the author's pain in this book. It is not short stories. It is not something novel. It is history of Goa, history of those who martyred. जे हुतात्मे जाले आमच्या खातीर, गोंयच्या खातीर, ताच्या बद्दल बरयलां. आनी हे म्हाका दिसता कोंकणीन बरोवपाचें. सांग म्हणजे मॅडमी ट्रान्सलेट कर म्हणून कोंकणी. घरांत आसा. हांव चड आनी काय उलयता. Absolutely majestic, mind-boggling book, mind-blowing book, and it will definitely create some sort of awareness for our martyrs. And this book, many people were not knowing there were so many martyrs. They thought just Indian army came and liberated. हेच जाण आशिल्लें, बाकीचें कांय खबर नाशिल्लें. ह्या हितून फर्स्ट टायम ताणें रेकग्निशन दिलां सगळ्यांक. And a recognition, बरे हातून दिला. सर, कॉंग्रॅच्युलेशन पारामेश सर. आणि तांकां हांव परबी दिता. आणि बुकाची बरी हे जावनी, पॉप्युलॅरिटी जावनी अशें वाटता. सगळ्यांनी बूक हो खरेदी करचो अशें तुमचे कडेन सगळ्यां कडेन वाटता. देव बरें.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure all of you all are convinced to buy the book now. At this moment, I'm privileged to invite Mr. Vinay Sawan to share his remarks on this occasion. May I kindly request him to share his valuable thoughts with us.
Vinay has come all the way from Pune. After 30 years, I'm meeting him.
गोवा मुक्ती संग्रामातील ज्ञात अज्ञात सर्व हुतात्म्यांना माझा सलाम. या पुस्तकाचे प्रकाशक आणि माझे शिक्षक प्राध्यापक माननीय प्रज्वल साखरदांडे, त्यांच्याबरोबर ज्यांनी या पुस्तकाचं कौतुक केलं, या पुस्तकाला प्रमोशन केलं, ते माझे आदरणीय मित्र जतीन नाईक, सन्माननीय व्यासपीठ आणि या प्रकाशन सोहळ्याला उपस्थित असलेले आपण सर्व गोव्यातील नागरिक, माझे बहीण भाऊ, सर्वांना नमस्कार. दोस्तांनो, आज या ठिकाणी माननीय प्रज्वल साखरदांडे यांनी जे पुस्तक लिहिलंय, त्या पुस्तकाचा विषय काय, त्याचा आशय काय, याबद्दल तुम्ही सर्वांना माहिती आहे. मुक्ती संग्रामात ज्यांनी बलिदान दिलं, त्या इतिहासातील शहीदांच्या पुसलेल्या आकृत्या नवीन पुस्तकातून त्या रेखाटून इतिहासाचं पुनर्जीवन करण्याचं काम जे आमच्या प्राध्यापकांनी केलंय, तर प्राध्यापकांच्या या मेहनतीला आज 6वं या पुस्तकरूपी हे 6वं पुष्प त्यांनी या हुतात्म्यांना समर्पित केलंय. हेच पुस्तक आज ज्या प्रिंट मीडियाच्या माध्यमातून आपल्या समोर आलंय, प्रत्येक क्षण आणि क्षण आजच्या युगातला हा डिजिटल होईल आणि ही एक हिस्ट्री बनेल. इथनं पुढे जेव्हा 5 शतकं जातील, 4 शतकं जातील, 400-500 वर्षांनी सुद्धा प्राध्यापकांचं हे पुस्तक हे इतिहासाला, गोव्याला ज्यांनी मुक्त केलं त्या हुतात्म्यांना एक नाळ जोडणारं एक पुस्तक असेल. या पुस्तकात काय चांगलं आहे, काय वाईट आहे, हे सर्वजण आपण जाणाल. पण आज या पुस्तक प्रकाशन सोहळ्याला ज्या एका उद्देशाने आलो, सरांनी सांगितलं मी 30 वर्षानंतर आलो, पण या पुस्तकाच्या प्रमोशनचा जो एक विचाराचा एक खेळ चालला होता गेले 10-15 दिवस, महिनाभर, जो मी अनुभवत होतो, आज त्याच्याबद्दल मी थोडंसं बोलण्यासाठी आज इथं आलोय. जे काही बोलल ते जबाबदारीनं बोलल आणि ही फार मोठी गोष्ट आहे की ज्यांच्या उपस्थितीत मला बोलायचं होतं ते स्वतः प्राध्यापक या ठिकाणी बसलेले आहेत. आज सर्वजण आपण शिकतो. आज सर्वजण आपले आई वडील आपल्याला चांगल्या शाळेत घालतात, कॉलेजमध्ये घालतात. त्यांच्या मेहनतीचं, कष्टाचं एक फळ म्हणून आज आपण चांगल्या कॉलेजमध्ये जातो, चांगल्या विद्यापीठात जातो, चांगल्या संस्थांमध्ये जातो. आज आपण डॉक्टर होतो, आज आपण वकील होतो, सर्व काही होतं. पण याच्या पलीकडे जाऊन मला असं वाटतं की नुसतं शिकल्याने शहाणपण येतं असा जर काही गैरसमज असतो तो फार चुकीचा आहे. शिकल्याच्या नंतर एक संवेदनशील मन हे असावं लागतं प्रत्येकाजवळ. जर नुसतं शिकून तुमच्याकडे संवेदना नसतील तर त्याचा काही उपयोग नाही. आज प्राध्यापकांवरती मी प्रेम करतो, तुम्हीही करत असाल. आपण प्राध्यापकांकडे आपण आग्रही असू शकतो एका गोष्टीच्या बाबतीत, पण तो आग्रह हा मर्यादित स्वरूपाचा असला पाहिजे. त्या आग्रहाचा जर हट्ट झाला आणि त्या हट्टाने, आपल्या हट्टाने प्राध्यापकांच्या कर्तृत्वाला जर आपण त्यांच्या पायात जर बेड्या घालत असलो तर ते फार चुकीचं आहे. मला माझ्या प्राध्यापकांच्या या 6 पुस्तकांचा, त्यांनी केलेल्या मेहनतीचा मला त्याचा अभिमान आहे. त्याचा अभिमान तुम्हालाही आहे. पण एक श्रद्धा असावी लागते. आपले शिक्षक, आपले प्राध्यापक जी मेहनत घेतात, ज्या गोष्टीची मेहनत घेतात, जर तिथं श्रद्धा नसेल तर त्या देवाला पूजण्यात मला नाही वाटत काही अर्थ आहे. आज तुम्ही प्राध्यापकांवरती, त्यांच्याविषयी, त्यांच्या कर्तृत्वाविषयी तुम्ही अर्धा नाही 1 तास बोलू शकत असाल, पण भविष्यात काही काही गोष्टींची जबाबदारी ठेवणं हे फार गरजेचं आहे. पुस्तकाच्या बाबतीत मी काही बोलणार नाही, त्या बाबतीत मला फारसं काही माहितीच नाही. मला एवढंच माहिती आहे की माननीय प्रज्वल साखरदांडे यांचं असं नवं पुस्तक येत आहे ज्याच्यात गोव्यात ज्ञात अज्ञात असलेले 70-80 हुतात्मे, त्यांचा प्रामुख्याने उल्लेख आहे. त्यांच्या कर्तबगारीचा, त्यांच्या हुतात्म्यांचा कशा प्रकारे केलाय त्यांचा उल्लेख आहे. आणि हे मला फार आवडलं. की हा इतिहास या नवीन पिढीच्या हातात देण्याचं काम माझ्या प्राध्यापकांनी केलंय. हे सर्व करत असताना ज्या दोन गोष्टी बोलण्यासाठी मी आलोय, मला माहिती आहे सर्वांपेक्षा मी जास्त तुमचा वेळ घेतोय आणि तेवढा हट्ट मी माझ्या प्राध्यापकांजवळ नक्कीच करू शकतो, कारण आज मी 30 वर्षानंतर आलोय आणि जवळजवळ 700 किलोमीटरचा प्रवास करून आलोय. एखादी व्यक्ती शिक्षक होते, शिक्षक अनेक होतात. एखादी व्यक्ती प्राध्यापक होते, प्राध्यापक अनेक होतात. पण व्यक्तींमध्ये काही प्रवृत्ती अशा असतात की ते त्यांच्या मर्यादांच्या बाहेर जाऊन स्वतः काहीतरी वेगळं काम करण्याचा प्रयत्न करतात आणि त्या प्रवृत्तीचं जर काही हातावर बोटावर मोजण्यासारखी जर काही नावं असतील, त्याचं सगळ्यात अग्रक्रमाने येणारं नाव म्हणजे आमचे प्राध्यापक प्रज्वल साखरदांडे. मी गोव्याला शिकायला आलो, मी अपघाताने आलो होतो. माझी जतीन नाईकची भेट सुद्धा अपघातानेच झाली आणि प्राध्यापकांची माझी भेट सुद्धा अपघातानेच झाली. मला एवढंच माहिती होतं की शिक्षक लोक हे विद्यार्थ्यांना त्यांच्या हातात एक लेखणी देतात, पेन देतात, त्यांना अभ्यासक्रमातले धडे शिकवतात, त्याचं विश्लेषण करतात आणि आम्ही लोकांनी, विद्यार्थ्यांनी त्याचं आकलन करायचं असते. शाळेचा, विद्यापीठाचा, महाविद्यालयाचा एवढा शिरस्ता माहिती असणारा मी माणूस होतो. पण याच पणजीमध्ये एका नामवंत वकिलांचं ऑफिस आहे, आगासाहेबांचं. प्रोफेसर बसले होते, मी तिथं बसलो होतो. विद्यार्थ्यांचा एक निरोप घेऊन मी ऍडव्होकेट आगांकडे आलो होतो. आता एक सुंदर चेहऱ्याचा माणूस त्या ठिकाणी बसलाय. मला वाटलं कदाचित कॉलेजमधलाच कोणतरी असेल. आमची ओळख झाली. नंतर कळालं की ते धेंपे कॉलेजचे प्राध्यापक आहेत. मी जे बोलतोय त्यातला एक शब्दही खोटं बोलणार नाही. माझ्या आयुष्यातला पहिला शिक्षक असेल. ओळख झाल्या झाल्या 2 ते 3 मिनिटाच्या आतच न कळत माझ्या हातातला पेन कधी काढून गेला आणि माझ्या हातात क्रांतीची मशाल त्यांनी कधी दिली हे मला आजपर्यंत उमगलं नाही. पण मला अभिमान आहे प्रोफेसर की तुम्ही दिलेली मशाल मी आजपर्यंत खाली ठेवली, आजपर्यंत खाली ठेवली नाही. मी कोणत्या वर्गातून आलो, कोणत्या जातीतून आलो, कोणत्या धर्मातून आलो याचा माझ्या प्रोफेसरांनी कधी भेदभाव केला नाही. विशेष म्हणजे प्रोफेसर माझ्या घरी यायचे, आम्ही रात्रभर गप्पा मारायचो. प्रोफेसर मला या गोव्याच्या बाबतीत अनेक गोष्टी सांगायचे आणि जसं जतीन म्हणाला त्याच पद्धतीने याला तर फक्त बाळाराय महापरीबद्दल सांगितलं असेल, अजून कशाबद्दल सांगितलं असेल, त्याच्यापेक्षा मला या गोव्यातल्या घरांच्या बाबतीत सुद्धा प्रोफेसरांनी सांगितलं होतं. मला अजूनही आठवत आहे, प्रोफेसर मला म्हणाले होते एकदा की इथं अशी स्लॅबची घरं वगैरे असं काही नसतंय, इथलं असं आर्किटेक्चर असं आहे की इथं कौलं ही बंधनकारक असतात. आता त्यांनी काय सांगितलंय त्या पुसटशा गोष्टी माझ्या डोक्यात आहेत. आणि या संपूर्ण या 7-8 वर्षात जो वेळ मला त्यांचा सहवास मिळाला, ज्या वेळेस मी त्यांच्या संपर्कात आलो, मी त्यांचे विचार घेऊन, त्यांचा उपदेश घेऊन याच गोवा युनिव्हर्सिटीमध्ये आम्ही 2 आंदोलनं केली. आम्ही कॉलेजच्या परीक्षा या बॉयकॉट केल्यात. 8-8, 9-9 दिवसाचं उपोषण मी केलंय. तेव्हा जे काही बौद्धिक पाठबळ लागतं ते बौद्धिक पाठबळ हे माझ्या प्रोफेसरांचं होतं. आज प्रोफेसरांचा माझा संपर्क आला नसता कदाचित मी ग्रॅज्युएट झालो असतो, माझी BSc मी कंप्लीट केली, कदाचित MSc कंप्लीट करू शकलो असतो. पण जे विचाराचं सोनं आणि लढण्याची ताकद आणि लढण्याची इच्छा ही आपल्याला कोणी ना कोणी द्यावी लागते, ती इच्छा देण्याचं काम प्रज्वल साखरदांडे नावाच्या एका प्रोफेसरांनी केलं. आणि हे माझ्या बाबतीत घडलं नाही. तुम्ही गोव्यातील लोक फार घाई करता, काही सांगायच्या अगोदरच टाळ्या वाजवता. जरा 2 मिनिटं बघ, शांत बसा. ऍक्च्युली मी आलोय तर मी या माझ्या मित्राशी भांडण्यासाठी आलोय, जतीन नाईकशी. उगाच चहाला जायचं कप बशी लपायचे तसला काही प्रकार आपण करत नाही. प्रोफेसरांशी जेवढं प्रेम मी करतो, माझ्या कितीतरी पटीने जास्त प्रेम माझे मित्र जतीन नाईक करतात. पण ते आग्रही असतात प्रोफेसरांना आणि ते हट्टी होतात. प्रोफेसर, तुम्ही गोव्याच्या संग्रामावरती लिहिलं, तुम्ही ह्याच्यावरती लिहिलं, मग तुम्ही ह्याच्यावरती लिहा, तुम्ही त्याच्यावरती लिहा, तुम्ही त्याच्यावरती लिहा. माझं तर प्रामाणिक मत आहे, ज्ञान पथ पे फूल बिछाए वो गुरु, आणि ज्ञान सबको समान बाटे वो गुरु. नाईक साहेब, या प्रश्नाचं उत्तर जर तुम्हाला देता आलं तर आत्ता द्या, नाही तर नंतर द्या. प्रोफेसरांनी ज्ञानदानाचं जे काम केलंय त्यात तुम्हाला जास्त दिलं का, मला जास्त दिलं का, इथं बसलेल्या त्यांच्या माजी विद्यार्थ्यांना थोडंफार झुकतं मागतं दिलं. प्रोफेसरांनी सर्वांना समान पद्धतीनेच वाटलं, तेवढाच पोटतिडकीने त्यांनी सर्वांना दिलं, सर्वांना शिकवलं. काही बुद्धिमान असतात तुमच्यासारखे, तुम्ही फार ओरबडून खाल्ल्यासारखं खाता. आमच्यासारखे अभागी असतात, आम्ही गरजेपुरतच घेतो, ठीक आहे थँक्यू म्हणतो, निघून जातो. पण या सर्व गोष्टीत जाता जाता मला एवढंच सांगायचं आहे, प्रज्वल साखरदांडे त्यासारखं व्यक्तिमत्व, मी तर म्हणेन त्यासारखी एक इन्स्टिट्यूट आहे प्रज्वल साखरदांडे. कधी स्वतःचा गर्व नाही, कधी मोठेपणा नाही. आजही मी बघितलं त्या माणसाची तळमळ, धावपळ, कोणी इथं बसा, कोणी तिथं बसा, कोणी तिथं बसा, कोणी तिथं बसा. आणि तुमच्या गोव्याला पडलेलं हे सुंदर स्वप्न आहे प्रज्वल साखरदांडे. मला नाही माहिती यातल्या तुमच्यापैकी किती जणांना त्याची जाणीव आहे, पण मला या गोष्टीची फार मोठी तळमळ आहे. असा माणूस जर माझ्या पुण्यात असता, असा माणूस जर माझ्या महाराष्ट्रात असता, तर नक्कीच हा माणूस हा फार मोठा त्या ठिकाणी झाला असता. हे एवढ्यासाठी बोलत नाही की याची कदर इथं नाही, पण एवढ्यासाठी बोलतो की आपण प्रत्येकांना गृहीत धरतो. गृहीत धरल्याने काय होतं, माणसाचं आकाश, त्यांच्या जग घेण्याच्या वेगाला एक मर्यादा येते. तसं करू नका. प्रोफेसरांनी आज एक पुस्तक लिहिलंय, प्रोफेसरांना एवढा रिस्पॉन्स द्या, एवढा रिस्पॉन्स द्या. ही जबाबदारी ही तुमच्या खांद्यावर आहे. आज या पुस्तकाच्या 1,00,000 प्रती जर विकल्या, याच्याही पेक्षा ऐतिहासिक असं काहीतरी सोनं प्रोफेसर साखरदांडे त्यांच्या पिशवीतनं काढतील आणि आपल्या पुढे ठेवतील. कारण आपल्या पुढं हे ठेवलेलंच हा पुढं आपल्या पिढींना फार मार्गदर्शन याचं होईल. एवढंच बोलतो आणि या ठिकाणी थांबतो. जास्त वेळ घेतला त्याबद्दल मला माफ करा. थँक्यू प्रोफेसर, थँक्यू मिस्टर.
खरेच आजच्या काळाचे सुटके जुजारी आणि आमचे सगळ्यांचे सुपर हिरो म्हळ्यारूच प्रज्वल सर साखरदांडे. Moving ahead, we are deeply honored to have with us today a distinguished academician, social activist, and youth mentor, Ms. Sandra Florencia Pereira, whom I now have the privilege of introducing as our guest of honor. Ms. Pereira serves as an assistant professor of philosophy at Dempe College of Arts and Science and brings with her over 15 years of teaching experience. She is currently pursuing her PhD at Goa University in the field of medical ethics, exploring the ethical dimensions of contemporary health practices. A dedicated researcher, she has presented and published several scholarly papers. Her recent publication, Ethical Dilemmas and Decision-Making Processes in Healthcare, Rationing within resource-scarce environments, a critical analysis, was published in Ethics, Medicine and Public Health, an international peer-reviewed journal published by Mason SAS France. The journal is indexed in Scopus and holds a Q3 ranking in health policy, reflecting the significance of her contribution to the field. Beyond academics, Ms. Sandra Pereira is the founder and president of USWAD, the Rays of Hope, an NGO committed to social, cultural, and environmental transformation in Goa. Through its initiatives, she has tirelessly worked towards youth empowerment, mental health awareness, women's rights, environmental conservation, heritage protection, and communal harmony. Her unwavering commitment to education, social responsibility, and ethical leadership continues to inspire countless young minds, including me. We are delighted to have such a dynamic and inspiring personality with us today. Ma'am, I request all of you all to kindly join in extending a heartfelt welcome to our guest of honor, Ms. Senga Torega. I request you to address the gathering.
Good evening to all distinguished guests, respected Chief Guest, Dr. Remy Dias, Guest Speaker, Advocate Jatin Naik, President of this function, Mr. Kevin Rebello, the loving author of this book, Mr. Prajal Sakadande, respectful family members of freedom fighters, historians, scholars, students, members of public, and my fellow Goans. Today, on the occasion of Goa Revolution Day, we gather not merely for a book release, but for an act of remembrance, gratitude, and reflection. 18 June is not just a date in the Goa's history. It is a reminder of courage. It is a reminder that ordinary men and women can change the course of history when they stand up against injustice. It reminds us that freedom is never gifted. It is earned through sacrifices, struggles, and lives of selfless freedom fighters and martyrs. It is therefore fitting that on this historic occasion, we celebrate the release of unsung heroes of history, martyrs in Goa's struggle for freedom by our very own Professor Prajal Sakadande. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Professor Prajal Sakadande for his remarkable contribution to Goa's historical literature. The book is not merely a collection of names and dates. It is a tribute. It is a memorial imprint. It is a voice given to those whose sacrifice have too often remained hidden in the shadows of history. Many of us know the broad history of Goa's liberation, but how many of us know the stories of the martyrs, 75 martyrs that have been mentioned by Professor Prajal Sakadande in his book? Karnal Singh Banipal, Yashwant Agarwadekar, Rohidas Mapari, Bapu Gawas, Bala Desai, Suresh Kerkar, and so many of them whose blood, courage, and sacrifice helped shape the Goa we live in today. Professor Sakadande has brought these forgotten heroes back into public memory. What makes this work specially valuable is the manner in which it has been presented in front of us and the way the research has been done. Professor Prajal did not remain confined to libraries and archives. He traveled to villages, memorials, and broader regions. He met families, he listened to oral histories, he verified facts, he contributed and corroborated evidence. He found and followed history to every places where these martyrs lived, fought, and died. That is the hallmark of a great and true historian. Professor Prajal Sakadande has earned a reputation as a scholar who stands firmly with facts regardless of circumstances, trends, or pressure. He has continuously demonstrated a commitment to objective research, careful verification, and intellectual honesty. His work reflects a deep respect for evidence and for the truth. In an age where opinions often travel faster than facts, such dedication is extremely valuable. The stories contained in this book remind us that freedom was never achieved only by famous names alone. It was achieved by the countless ordinary people with extraordinary courage. Some were farmers, some were workers, and some were students, and some came from distant part of India to fight for Goa's freedom. Many never lived to see the fruits of their sacrifice, yet they believed that future generations would inherit a free Goa. And that future generation is you and I. We all who are there today enjoying the fruits of the freedom that is come from the cost that was paid of the life of all the martyrs that we have. And that brings me to an important question to every Goan sitting over here and across everywhere. What are we doing with the freedom which has been given to us with so much dedication and their life? What are we doing with this freedom? The martyrs fought against the oppression, injustice, and fear. They dreamed of Goa where people could live with dignity, justice, safety, and opportunities. We honor them today. As we honor them today, we must also honestly reflect on the challenges facing our society today. Goa stands in a place where we read in a newspaper that Goa is highest for the rape cases in the world. How is this sounding? Women and children are not safe. Crimes are rising. The law and order is completely at a failure. Land grabbing, conversions of the land, environmental destruction, the coastal erosions, drug abuse, and the threatening of our future generation. Complete destruction of Goa at every level. Our youth, our communities, and our precious natural heritage deserves protection. It is a time to reclaim a safe, accountable, and sustainable Goa. A healthy democracy, we are the largest democracy in this world, and the healthy democracy requires citizens who care. The answer is not violence, hatred, or division. The answer is active citizenship and participation. The answer is speaking truth responsibly, defending constitutional values, demanding accountability through democratic means, protecting our environment, respecting each other, and ensuring the justice reaches every citizen. If the martyrs taught us anything, it is that courage must always walk hand in hand with responsibility. The greatest tribute we can pay to our martyrs is not merely to garland their photographs when the occasions come, but the greatest tribute is to build the Goa they dreamed of. A Goa where truth matters, a Goa where justice prevails, a Goa where children, youth, women feel safe, a Goa where development, heritage, and environmental protection go together. A Goa where every citizen, regardless of language, religion, caste, or background, feels respected and secure. One more very important thing I want to highlight today. We Goans are blessed with rich heritage. We take pride with our rivers, coastlines, forests, villages, architecture, place of worships, forts, historic landmarks reflecting a history that spans centuries. But above all this, I feel there is one heritage which is even more precious, and if that heritage is protected of Goa, everything else will be protected. And that heritage is the unity of Goa. The martyrs remembered in this book, as I was going through the book, came from different backgrounds. They came from different religion, communities and faiths, yet they stood together for one cause, a free Goa. They understood that unity was their greatest strength. Today, there are so many forces which have been built around us and which have been promoted around us through social media and other things, which are trying to cause unrest, trying to disturb this unity of us. Based on religion, caste, based on political differences, today our unity is trying to get affected. We must not allow anyone to weaken the social harmony and the generations of Goans have carefully nurtured. Goan language, आमची कोंकणी भास, ये कोंकणी भाषेन hate या इंग्लिश उतराक कोंकणी उतर ना. कित्या खातीर ना? हे आमी केन्ना गोंयकारांनी चिंतलां? ते ना कित्याक गोंयकाराच्या मनात ती हेट्रेडूच ना. आनी ती नाशिल्ली. आनी ती घालपाक खूब जाण लोक यत्न करता कित्याक तांकां खुबशे बेनिफिट्स आसा. आमी धर्माच्या नांवान, आमी रिलिजनाच्या नांवान, आमी लँग्वेजीच्या नांवान आनी खुबशे गोष्टीच्या नांवान एकामेका कडेन झगडत आसात. And who is taking the benefit of this fight is someone else. And we need to understand what it is. In the past, whatever has happened, we have to take it as a lesson and not stick to that past and create differences in present. Goan language, as I mentioned, has no space for hatred. आमची माय भास कोंकणी आनी हेट्रेडाक जागो ना आनी तो जागो आमी जावपाक गोंयांत दिवपाची ना. The Goa we inherited was built by not by divisions but by solidarity, not by hatred but by mutual respect, not by suspicion but by trust. If we truly wish to honor the sacrifice of our freedom fighters, then we must protect this precious inheritance. Let us defend our rivers, our forest. Let us preserve our heritage, history and culture. And most importantly, let us preserve the unity of Goa. This book serves as an important reminder that history is not about only past. History is a mirror through which we examine our present and shape our future. I hope these great writings of historian Professor Prajal Sakadande finds its way into every school, every college, every library and every Goan home. Let our young people read these stories. Let them know the names of the great history heroes which have been forgotten. Let them understand that freedom came with a price, and let them draw inspiration from the courage of these remarkable martyrs. Once again, I congratulate Professor Prajal Sakadande for his outstanding contribution to Goa's collective memory. May this book ensure that sacrifices of these martyrs are never forgotten. And these stories may these stories continue to inspire generations to come. And may we always, us who are present here and who will be coming to the next generation, be worthy of the freedom that is been secured from the life of our freedom fighters and martyrs. I am really grateful to Professor Prajal Sakadande and my loving ma'am Anju for giving me this opportunity and honor. Jai Hind, Jai Goan.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your meaningful and inspiring words. It is often said that history is not merely the study of the past, but a guide to understanding the present and shaping the future. With this thought, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest for today's function, Dr. Remy Dice, a distinguished academician, researcher, author, and administrator. Dr. Dice currently serves as professor and head of Department of History at the Government College of Arts and Science and Commerce, Kepe. He completed his master's degree from Goa University and earned his PhD in 2003, specializing in socio-economic history of Goa with special reference to comunidad system. His academic excellence was recognized through the prestigious Fundação Oriente Long-Term Scholarship Award, awarded for research on the Portuguese and comunidades of Goa. Dr. Dias served as the Deputy Director of Higher Education, Government of Goa, from 2011 to 2020, where he handled matters related to Goa University and its affiliated institutions. An accomplished scholar, he has presented research papers at numerous state, national, and international conferences. He has also recognized over 24 seminars, workshops, and conferences for students and faculty. His contributions to academics include numerous publications in books and journals, along with the editing and publications of 3 books, the latest being a work on the periodical press published in London. Currently, Dr. Dice is engaged in research on the history of Konkani language, culture, and literature in the early 20th century, further enriching our understanding of Goa's cultural heritage. We are honored to have such an eminent historian and educationist with us today. Everyone, kindly join me in welcoming our chief guest, Dr. Remy Dice, with a warm round of applause. I now humbly request him to address the gathering.
I promise I will keep it very short. Dignitaries on the days, Kevin Rebello, Chandra Pereira, Advocate Jatin Naik, my friend Prajal Bab, dignitaries, many of the important people sitting in the audience, Prajal's mother, Prajal's wife. There was a proposal last year that we need books in history to be written in Konkani. And discussions also कोणच ना कोण पयर काडना. So 6 books are there, many on history. You yourself and you can take up. Time ना जाल्यार sabbatical घेवपाचे. This is all off the record. What I wanted to tell is, Prajal is a hero. 20th March 2026, म्हाका 2 message आयल्यो. Hello, Datar. His way of addressing me is like that. I call him Prajal Bab and he calls me in Datar. I was his senior 1 year. He was studying with me at the Goa University. Since that time, we are friends. We discuss also. We disagree many times. To tell you, Prajal is responsible, that is one of the persons responsible that history, Goa history, is taught at the college level. And that I don't know whether we have to write that as Prajal movement or what, but history is being taught. So he sent me this message, 2 messages. One is of the book cover, and My book Unsung Heroes of History, I want to get it released at your hands on 18 June 2026 at 5 p.m. And then he sent the address and all. It's a Thursday. So he sent this message at night time 12:24. 12:24, I am never alive. Understood? So when I got up in the morning, I saw the messages and I replied to him immediately that I will come. Then he told me, see, I am telling you 3 months in advance, book the date, and it is 18 June. Then I did not forget. I have another habit. I immediately tell my wife. So I told my wife these messages are come and that I will be going for the book release. So, and then he sent messages often so that I remember. Once I promise, then I do not forget. And it's a great thing that this is a 6th book. I'm not going to repeat a single word of what others have said. I don't have that habit. But it's good, and as I have told you, you please take up. We need history to be written in Konkani so that the future generation. This is my personal research. Prajal Bab, my dear friend and colleague, author of the book being released today, respected thinkers, sitting on the dais as well as amongst the audience and my dear friends. Today is a historic day in the history of Goa. It is the 18th June day when my friend Professor Prajal has decided to release his book. And you have seen how every step has gone. It's like a film, 3-hour film. So everything is well choreographed. He has brought people, he need not bring, they have come on their own. I remember once he had a problem and I was discussing with him. If on that day something wrong had gone to him, then all his students would have made statues of Prajal and put across Goa, because he's very passionate about 2 things. One is history and one is heritage. And he is passionate. There's no doubt about it. Whenever he takes up something, and these 2 issues, history and heritage, he is very much passionate about. Years back, 80 years to be specific, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia decided to challenge the colonial Portuguese regime in Goa on this very day. Why and how Dr. Lohia reached Goa, what he did on this day, its impact on the freedom struggle. You may please read just today's newspapers, whether it is Times of India, Navin Times, Herald, so many dailies, only today's paper. And you will know what is the historic significance of this day. I am surely not going to repeat it. However, what is significant is that Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia took up the fight for civil liberties, which were denied to Goans by the then colonial regime. What are civil liberties? Involve freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and the right to a fair trial. In the Indian context today, the Constitution outlines 6 broad categories of fundamental rights. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. Civil liberties are crucial in democratic societies, communities, so that liberty, equality, and fraternity are enjoyed by all. We shout at the top of our voice about liberty and equality. All of us understand freedom. All of us fight for equality. But it is fraternity that makes the other 2 fruits of liberty and equality possible. After Ram Manohar Lohia addressed the people of Goa and then started the last phase of our struggle for freedom. Freedom from 4.5 centuries of colonial rule of the Portuguese. In this struggle for freedom participated the elites and the commoners, men and women, Goans as well as fellow Indians. Finally, Goa was liberated through Operation Vijay by the Indian government. Professor Prajal's book, Unsung Heroes of History, Martyrs in Goa's Struggle for Freedom, 1583-1961. So 1583 records the contribution of commoners in this freedom struggle. Why is this year 1583 significant? The Gunkoli revolt of those years was a challenge to the religious and economic policies of the Portuguese. The Pinto revolt of the 18th century, the banner of revolt was raised by the Ranis from the 19th and early 20th century. All contributed to weaken the hold of the Portuguese. Prajal writes about Balaraya Mapari, Nityanand Shah, Baburao Thorat, Kedar Anvikar, Sakaram Shirodkar, Krishna Shamba Sheth, Karanjal Castle Rock and Patra Devi martyrs, Sardar Karnail Singh Benipa, Hirve Guriji, Shreshnath Wadekar, Rohidas Mapari, and a host of others. Many of these martyrs worked as torchbearers of Azad Gomantak Dal, Goa Vimochan Sahayak Samiti, National Congress Goa, Goa Liberation Army, and other organizations. Many freedom fighters sacrificed their lives. Why? So that we may enjoy the fruits of liberation. The book gives abundant details of the sacrifices made by the freedom fighters. Please read the book to understand the varied contours of a valuable and unforgettable struggle for freedom. In the end, I can only say this confidently. Prajal Bab, my friend, my colleague, is passionate about two things. One, history of Goa, and two, preservation of Goa's heritage. I wish to see Prajal writing many more popular books on Goa history in the years to come. Let 6 need not the last number. Add 10 to it. Let it be 60. And I wish him all the very best. All those who have purchased the book or intend to do so, happy reading. Even though the topic on which he has written is something very painful. But we have to understand, we have to read, we have to learn, we have to know about the sacrifices made by so many people so that we may enjoy freedom. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.